Hello everyone, Phoenix61 here with your legend shenanigans for the day, and the shenanigans we have for you. We are rocking the Paolo Emilio, or as community likes to call it, the YOLO Emilio, and we're going to showcase why it is called that, right? Because a few clips for you here right in the beginning. This game we've already got a ship killed, not us, but right. I just capped the B hole here, and then we are going to use the YOLO skills of this ship, which is a long rolling smoke, to take out a carrier that has maybe pushed up a little too much, right? Should have probably noticed that the B zone was getting capped and avoided it much more than he did. But that is the price you pay, I guess, right? So a couple more clips here, and we'll go into some full games as well. Just was having some fun with this ship the last couple weeks or so, and so yeah, I just made sure to gather any good moments here. But York should have sonar, but I think he may have used it already. We're a little bit later in the game, so we'll get rid of him. And then we've got an Iowa that's up here as well. My rolling smoke has run out, so this guy's going to get a shot off on us here, but we've got more torpedoes ready as we come around the corner here. Luckily, he doesn't knock out our torpedoes, so we do have the torpedo tubes. But yes, this is a lot of times when you play like this, right, especially if you don't get the kill, right, you're going to end up with, you know, very, very vulnerable situation, and you end up dying, right, as I think we did that on live stream once or twice this past weekend. So yeah, it doesn't always work out this way, but it's always nice. It's always just tons and tons of fun. I kind of wish there were more, I don't know, like meme type, you know, oddball ships like this that sort of serve their one purpose and that's it, and then half the time you end up dying. But you do get a pretty massive health pool for the for a tier 7 destroyer, right? Your 27,000 we've got it built up to. But yeah, Jean Bart, unsuspecting as we come around the corner, may not even have known we were there. The guns can work too in the right situations, right? We do some pretty good work on this Harbin because, well, he manages to dodge all our torpedoes. We had already used our smoke screen at this point trying to sneak up on these guys, and they had figured out that I was close and kind of moved away, right? But yeah, we'll switch to the AP since he's nice and broadside and we're getting decent Citadel hits on him there. But then, yeah, it's going to drain our health pretty significantly here as we try to avoid him and shoot him at the same time, right? We don't have the safety of our rolling smoke. We've got it on cooldown right now. But he does give up some angle for us, and so we're going to switch back to the AP and be able to finish him off. So the guns work, right? They're just, I don't know, the reload on them is a little bit slow, right? So sometimes you're like, come on, load, right? But yeah, we're going to get a nice shot here, finish him off. We do end up surviving through this fire, but then the rest of this game is quite boring. I think I go and cap a zone, and then by that time, everybody else has killed all the enemy players, right? Killed all the reds, so. Here we've got a destroyer that decided to smoke up and thought he could get away with shooting us, but was that a Velos maybe? But yeah, we managed to stay out of range of him and get a lucky torpedo hit here. So this will be our first full game on this one. We are in a capture the base, right? So sometimes I've been able to just sneak up through and go and cap the base too. But we'll be able to go through his smoke screen. This is one of those situations where you use the enemy's smoke screen against them. We've got a cruiser coming this direction. If you look at the minimap, right, we've got airplanes spotting some folks for us here. So Mines CE is coming around the corner. We'll send some torpedoes for him as we duck behind cover here. We still have our smoke screen if we need it for this game. Waiting on torpedoes to reload now too, so we take our sweet time here. And then we are one of 2 destroyers, right? So it'd be nice for us to come and pop around the corner here and spot some ships for my team. But I'm gonna slow down a little bit here, see if we get a torpedo hit or not, and then we can wait for these torpedo tubes to reload as well. And depending on how close he is when we come around the corner, we could use our smoke if we need it. All right, airplanes pick him up on the mini-map again. He's got sonar, so now we can't get away with using our rolling smoke on him. But he is coming back through the islands behind me here. There's no real sense in sending torpedoes towards him because, well, he's got sonar going, so he's going to have early detection, right? So something to keep in mind, I think a lot of players don't realize, right? If you're picking them up with sonar, if you're getting picked up with sonar, right, there's kind of, unless you're real close, right, there's no point in sending torpedoes sometimes because that ship's going to have that super, super early warning, right? So I'm going to send them super short here because we know he's going to pick them up, so it's kind of a little bit of a mind game strategy there. But we're not going to be able to get away from him, so I was like, all right, we need to send these to see if we can get, see if we can do something. And then we're trying to get behind islands. I was kind of surprised that he, yeah, so that worked out perfectly. I was kind of surprised he pushed around that corner with that battleship out there plus us as well. So wasn't really anticipating it, but yeah, I was in a situation where I was just like, I gotta use these because, well, otherwise I might just die. So we will get away free there. And Wichita is not going to be able to shoot us anymore. We're undetected. So we can actually go and push back through because he's moving away. It's one of those situations where I'm like, do I damage con the steering gear just because I'm impatient? We waited it out. All right, engine boost on. Let's get through the corner. Let's get through the islands here and start spotting some ships and moving up and putting pressure on their base. 38,000 damage with 2 kills thus far already. And got a battleship, and the, what was it, the mines is still out there. Or Wichita. And then another battleship in their base. And we still have our rolling smoke trick available to us. Very healthy Marlborough here, who is pushing in this direction, and is probably going to be focused primarily on the, what is this, Yamato here, Yamato or Musashi on our team here. So yeah, Marlborough's going to turn in towards him, so we'll anticipate his turn and fire a little bit further than the suggested line. Hopefully our friendly battleship doesn't block all our torpedoes, or they end up ramming each other, and then they're completely useless that way as well. That would be a fair trade, yo, in that in that Musashi to ram that Marlborough since he's low on health. Oh, he gets him. Well, the Iowa got our Musashi. All right, yeah. So we're going to land a couple torpedo hits on the Marlborough there. And then I'm just keeping an eye on the mini-map here, making sure we don't get too close to any one of these battleships. Plus the carrier is up here as well, and I think a Wichita is probably still hanging around also. So we have to be a little bit careful, a little bit cautious. We've got the smoke if we need it, though. We'll wait for torpedoes to reload. We'll be patient here and avoid firing our guns so that we don't get spotted. We are deep in enemy territory here. If we're picked up, I'm sure we would get picked on, so we'll be patient, wait for the torpedoes. Marlborough should know we're out here now, right? Because we had sent those torpedoes before and got those couple of hits, so he may be zigging and zagging here to try and avoid us. Just checking on these other guys. Alright, Iowa's kind of moving same direction. Now the Marlborough has turned away, so now Iowa is going to get my attention here. And we're going to use the smoke. He seems to be kind of pushing away, right? If he was turning in towards us, we probably could get away with just kind of letting him turn in towards us, right? The torpedo range on this is only 6 kilometers, so that's kind of one of the challenges you have to deal with here with these, or with this ship. And then we're looking at the minimap. Planes have him spotted, so I'm just kind of trying to chase him down here. When we get close enough, right, we'll probably pick each other up and we'll be able to, right, we'll get within that 2 kilometer guaranteed detection range, right? And then this is where you learn if people are using target acquisition mod instead of concealment as well, right? Where if you get picked up at 3 kilometers, then they've got that target acquisition mod on, right? I suppose you could run that, but then you would, if you were using that, that would be helpful while you're in that rolling smoke, but then you're going to give up some concealment too. So we've got the broadside carrier here, so we'll switch to AP and see if that does anything for us. And then I'll stop here in the smoke. We get the dev strike on the Iowa. Got a few seconds left in the smoke screen here. We'll see what we can do against this guy. Not too much. And then we are just outside of detection range, right? So we're not spotted here, but we've got this game won, so why not YOLO Emilio it, right? Push up on the carrier. Not going to be a big deal when we get spotted here. There is the one remaining cruiser off to our left over there, but he's probably going after our other destroyer, so I shouldn't have to worry about him. And we're at this point where even if we do go down, right, we should have the game won still, so not a big deal. So we'll have some fun with it here at the end of this one. And then I've got one more game after this, and then we'll go through the commander guide and mods, picks, and all that other fun stuff like I normally do. There it pops high caliber for us. So yeah, we get first blood here, high caliber, and then we've got the 2 devastating strike medals as well. Oh, looks like the Wichita is shooting at us here. Full damage con the engine damage. See if we can get some fires on him. He's not quite close enough for torpedoes. There we go. Looks like everyone's probably shooting him though, so he's gonna go down. Here's the Wichita that's been picking on us. Like I said, you do get a pretty hefty health pool, right? So the survivability is decent, but with the way that, especially myself, right, way I like to play the ship, get ourselves into predicaments pretty easily, right? But end that game with 124,000 in damage. We'll take a quick peek at the leaderboard on this one, and then we'll go dive into our next game. But yeah, I am using this Giuseppe commander here, right? Free-to-play commander. That put us at the top, 2,900 XP. Walked away with about 500,000 in credits. And then we got one more game, right? So this one here, like lots of destroyers in this game. So I was actually really surprised I was able to push up through the middle. I got middle spawn. And right now I'm pretty much just spotting almost their entire team of battleships, right? For my team, right? So potentially my team could be in cover firing at all these guys. They would just have to deal with the destroyers that both split, right? 2 went to C cap and 2 went to B cap. So we'll push up, and then yeah, I was super surprised I didn't run into somebody, right? So a lot of times there's somebody coming through the middle when there's that many destroyers that want to go like through the middle and then into B or C from the middle spawn area, but we got away with just pushing all the way up through, so I'll go and put pressure on them. We'll let them know we're here by going into the A cap zone, and then they're going to be like, well, what the hell do we do now? So if this Iowa keeps moving this way, we'll take advantage of that. If he realizes we're getting the zone capped, we've still got all of our tricks up our sleeves, both engine boosts and 2 smokes. So Iowa might be turning away here, maybe sailing straight. So we'll be patient here to get the zone cap secured before we YOLO it up at him, right? But if he turns this way, that'll help out quite a bit, because then we could potentially get away without using the rolling smoke if he turns in towards us. But we're going to push up on him. We'll drop the smoke right as we get spotted there. Sometimes it's better if you can get it, if you can drop it like right before you get spotted, right? You kind of have to think it takes a second or two before it kicks in, right? We'll anticipate that he's going to keep turning, so I'll fire a little bit ahead of that line there. And we might as well use the other rack too here, just in case. So this is that scenario where, right, if you don't get the kill, right, and he continues to push up on you, you've got such a short duration of smoke that yeah, you could really screw yourself over here, right? We did trigger flood, so he's going to damage con those, right? So If he was like low on health, right, you could potentially like try and fire spam him and finish him off that way with the guns, but we managed to get the kill there, so a little bit of luck and then just kind of guessing where he's going to be going, right, anticipating his turn and leading with those torpedoes. We'll push out of the smoke. We got the zone capped. We got a ship down, 70,000 damage all from that Iowa. We'll push up and try and help out our teammates. Looks like they did manage to get rid of one destroyer over at the C cap, so I'm going to go in towards B and see if we can help on this side. There are 4 ships in that zone. They'll never suspect us coming from the north here. Unless they were paying attention to the mini-map, which most players don't, right? So, yeah. And so we fire our guns, and then one of the destroyers from the C cap, you can see him getting picked up on the mini-map, so he's taking shots at us here. So I'm actually going in, it's a Friesland, right? So I'm actually going to stop firing my guns here, see if we can go undetected. It looks like he wants to come back into the A cap and retake that. So Friesland, right, doesn't have torpedoes. It's a really fun global XP ship that anybody can get for global XP in the store. I'm pretty sure that's how I got it. But yeah, no torpedoes, but you do get sonar and smokescreen and really, really great guns for the tier, right? So you're a good destroyer hunter, right? But we've got a pretty epic health pool. He was a little bit, I think he was at about half health, right? And we do have torpedoes and decent guns as well. So we're going to push up on him and try and push him out and take him out and defend our zone that we worked so hard to capture here. So we get spotted, which means he's got a little bit better concealment than we do. So we get spotted first, then we pick him up. That is fine. We'll turn to get guns and torpedoes on target. He's getting a little bit of help from somebody. Somebody else shot at us, right? But since he's a little bit lower, right, on health, and then we have a pretty big health pool, right, I was confident that we'd be able to take him out. I'm surprised, right? If he had his, if he saved any of his tricks, right, so he's got smoke and decent range sonar, right, so he could have potentially used those, but I would guess they're probably on cooldown. But that expels some of our health pool there, right? So we don't have a lot of hit points left. So as we try and duck and weave and get away from this Fletcher, we'll send torpedoes back behind us, see if we can get a little bit lucky since he's pushing hard up towards us. And yep, we just held off on firing our guns to go undetected here, and we'll see if we can get lucky with torpedoes. If not, we'll have to use some sort of wicked strategery to try and avoid him. Since we're so low on health now at this point. We will have rolling smoke if we need it, so we could just kind of YOLO and be aggressive and take our chances. Looks like he did not meet any of our torpedoes. We are using the ship tracker as well, so we kind of both know where each other are at this point. I'm going to wait and see if he goes into the zone here. Right, we're up on ships. It'd be nice to get rid of this last destroyer, or at least put up a fight with him for a little bit while my teammates clean up the rest of the board, right? So, all right, smoke's ready. He's capping the zone. Let's see if we can take him on. He's got torpedoes too that we have to worry about, right? So I want to make sure we're pointed in. And I'm just taking a guess on where he might be, and we'll use the rolling smoke to try and get a surprise attack here, basically. So I'm going to head directly towards where the twist and track, right, where the locator is telling us. And then he's a little bit off to our right, so we're keeping the guns on that side. There's his torpedoes. All right, so I know he's moving that way. So I'm keeping the guns on the right side of my ship, and I just wanted to send torpedoes from the port side, right, get those off. He had already sent torpedoes, so we might be free and clear here as we pick each other up. And then we sent more torpedoes than we needed, and that ended up being the last kill. So we'll take a peek at the leaderboard, and then I'll kind of show you through the build. There is a this particular Giuseppe commander, right, he does have a perk that works really, really well with the rolling smoke and gives you a little bit of extra time with that. 2800 XP puts us at the top of the board for that game as well. And almost 500,000 in credits again there. And yeah, so I am using aiming system here, right? You could go turret traverse speed. I wouldn't argue with you there, right? The turret traverse is pretty slow on these, so a little bit of boost there would help. And then same propulsion mod too. You could argue steering gears there, right? I think you could do pretty much anything with this one. And then I am using concealment. Like I was saying, you could try target acquisition. I'm not a huge fan, right? But then I'm using the torpedo reload mod, but you could do main battery reload time too, right? Because that's kind of a little bit of a struggle bus as well. But yeah, base trait here, he has a increased smoke screen deployment time. I still don't have him all the way upgraded anyway as it is. Then I do torpedo speed here, but you could pick anything. And then this Squid's Ink is the way to go for this one, right? So a lot of your Italian destroyers and even cruisers, right, have that's rolling smoke, and so more deployment time is huge, and that makes a big difference, right? So that gives you quite a bit more time with the rolling smoke. Then I'm using William Sims for more health pool, and then I'm using Eric Bay for better detectability because it is kind of abysmal with this ship. So those help out, right? And then Perceptive, right, that's giving us the tracker. Smoke on the water for the last row here, and then of course Unstoppable. I almost always use Unstoppable for my destroyers, right? So, but that's going to be our YOLO Emilio game for the day, or games and moments, right? But thanks for watching all the way through if you're still here. I really do appreciate that. And make sure you're following the channel. I do enjoy some new followers. I am still kind of a small channel, so your one new subscription is actually noticed, and I do appreciate that. That helps me out quite a bit and helps out the channel as well. And then we do occasionally live stream also, so if you're interested in that, I don't have a set schedule, so just kind of keep an eye out for me there, right? Hit notifications if you're really interested. Usually evenings, and I am Central Time in the US, so, but yeah. Thanks again, guys. We'll see you guys tomorrow.